number 6.
Okay, podcast number 6. We are live. Fishing Legends Live. Mike Seawright, Jason Akers, Scott Hamrick, and our good friend Bobby Derrick, our special guest tonight, has joined us. First thing, we want to thank you for all your support. I looked at it this morning. We're approaching 2,000 likes. We're over 2,200 followers, and we were at 251 on YouTube subscribers. So thank you so much for all your support. Less than 48 hours ago, Scott Hamrick, I did. Good friend Bobby Derrick, our special guest tonight. What?
Sorry.
You do that every
time.
This is 2 weeks in a row. There's a sound on it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's
My
the one
mistake.
minus.
All right. So anyway, if I can continue, I did a 25-minute video less than 48 hours ago, unannounced, and the topic was how to win a bass tournament, and it's already had over 18,000 views. So that's sort of humbling to me. I really appreciate all that attention, and it's obvious that it's a subject that a lot of people care about, and so we will definitely continue to do that. I plan to do it. This is going to take several. This is a process. I explained that Tuesday night. It's a process, and it's going to take several 30-minute videos to sort of go through that process. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good. And next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I'll do the second one, and Scott may join me on that one if he wants to. Jason certainly welcome to join me. So we'll see how it goes. But next Wednesday at 7, we'll do that.
You gonna give away all your secrets?
All 2 of them, yeah.
Well, that means I'll probably have to give away a secret too.
Well, you better, or you can't come on. You're
Really?
going to have to give up some secrets, buddy.
Take more than 30 minutes.
I'll tell my first.
No, not for him.
My first secret will be how to beat Mike Seawright, because I've got a lot of experience in that.
Since you hadn't done it in about 6 months, that'll be interesting
Really?
to hear that.
Have you been drinking that already?
All right, so tonight we're also going to talk about recent tournaments, which didn't go real well.
Yeah, let's talk about recent tournaments.
We're going to.
Okay. Well, just tell me when that time
Just
comes.
relax. Just relax.
Okay.
See how excited he is over there?
I like it.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, we're going to like it next week, too.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that. We're going to have a long discussion with our good friend Bobby Derrick, who has, God, I said we've been friends for 40 years. Bobby reminded me it might be 50. So it's been a long
Telling
time.
our age, Mike.
Well, I'm sorry. It's been a long time. Let's
Long
put it
time.
that way. Bobby's been a great fisherman in this area for many, many years. He's so well connected.
How'd the boats run back in? Off of steam? Did you put logs in a? Is that how it worked?
No.
Oh.
We had boat and motors back then. They just
Really?
weren't quite as fast.
Okay.
They were fast enough to get us to a lot of fish, wasn't they, Bobby?
You can't catch them going 70 miles an hour.
See, some people won't ever learn that. That's right.
I don't run 70 miles an hour.
So we're going to talk about all that.
Okay.
All right, we're going to have a discussion on jigs tonight. I think that's going to be interesting. Scott's brought some. I brought some. Mine are quite a bit older, but that's okay. They won a lot more tournaments than what he's brought.
Yeah, look at these things.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of history there. So
Absolutely.
there's a Bobby knows. You may not understand all that. Bobby knows. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about jigs, and I think that's going to be really, really interesting. We may get to our funny stories, we may not, and we're going to have a giveaway. Going to have a giveaway tonight. We're going to give away a Waterwood crankbait. It's a BDS 1. It's one that's not even on the market yet. You have to have connections to get a bait like that. But we're going to, Marcos is going to make me give it away. But we'll talk about it later on, to give a little bit of history on it. And we're going to actually give that away. We're also going to give away a couple jigs. We're going to give away an Azteca gift certificate for $25. And a little bit later, Courtney can go into detail.
I can go ahead and explain.
You want to do that? Okay, fine.
Okay, so for the giveaway, we're giving away the Waterwood crankbait and we're giving away 2 jigs. Mike can go into a little detail later on the jigs that he's giving away, But what you have to do to get the 2 jigs in the waterwood is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you will comment subscribe on the live video. The way you get the Azteca gift card is you share the live video to all of your friends here on Facebook. You can do both and comment subscribed and shared, and you will be entered for both the 2 jigs in the waterwood and the Azteca gift card giveaways. If you subscribe, you have 3 chances to win because each one's a different giveaway.
Okay. Well, hopefully everybody understands that better than me.
I'm going to put it in the comments, and I'm going to pin a comment so people can read it.
Don't worry, Papa. You
Thank
just
you.
sit here and she'll handle it.
I want this to be
She'll handle
fair.
it. She'll tell you who wins.
I want
Or
this
it
to
will
be
be fair.
fair.
It
All
will be
right, that's
fair.
And
good.
even if you have already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can comment subscribe still and you will be entered. So it is current and new subscribers.
Good. Yeah, because it wouldn't be fair for people that's already subscribed not to have an opportunity to win.
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you,
job.
Courtney. Good job.
Good job, Courtney.
Yeah, we couldn't have done that.
No.
No.
That's why I said leave it to her.
All right. Okay, recent tournaments. Courtney, I assume you subscribed or shared it with,
I have shared it.
okay, all right. So, recent tournaments. Have you fished any recent?
Well, you know, I took the weekend off.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. That was smart.
And you didn't, right?
No, we actually fished a tournament at Wiley.
How did that go, Mike?
Not real well. Not real well.
It was pretty rough.
Not real well.
Really? What?
Jason, you
I mean,
know
what
what?
did y'all have? 9, 10 pounds?
Not exactly, Scott.
No.
Really?
A little less.
Yeah.
A little
Now I
less.
have to fish Wiley this weekend, so I'm not gonna get any help.
Good luck to you.
We could try to help you from now till morning, and I don't think it would have benefit you. No.
Wow.
No.
So exactly what did you have, Mike?
Well, less than 9 pounds, like you said.
Less
Scott.
than 9 pounds?
Yeah.
How much less than
A
9
lot
pounds?
less. maybe 8 pounds less than 9. Does that
Wow.
zero it in a little better for you?
So it's that bad down there at Wiley?
It was-
That's why I'm kind of scared to practice. I'm not gonna practice.
Well, you've been talking
Oh,
all
well, I can
week.
go down there and fish and just,
Yeah.
Well-
because it's,
It is what it is.
No, let me tell you what he's done, Jason. All week he's been doing this. Of course, he does it every week, but he's been talking to me about, oh, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, I know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna win. So why don't you share with us, Scott, what you're gonna do to win on this tough lake?
Well, I'm gonna catch more than one pounder, I think.
Oh, you think? Well, all week
Really-
it's been
really
like I'm
true-
gonna win.
Really,
Now-
truly, I don't think it'll take much because everybody I've talked to says it's really bad down there.
It is,
But you know, if I had to pick anything, I would want it like that
really.
because I like it like that because it gets, you know, fishing's a lot about confidence, and once somebody don't catch them first couple hours, they kind of give up. And you know, this is a 2-day tournament. Everybody has to fish 2 days. There ain't no qualifying for the second day. So
Okay.
you just have to calm down and just think, I'm not gonna get many bites. I'm gonna
Yep.
capitalize on the ones I get,
Right.
and then just shoot for a limit. Because if you
Right.
get a limit, you're gonna be right there. Because it's gonna be that bad, I think.
No doubt. I
yeah,
agree.
I mean, a limit each day of 14-inch fish and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
I think.
Jason fished down there today.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? You can weigh 12s in this thing. So
Really?
I might,
Really?
so I might get
You mean
2.
2 or 4?
You can weigh 2, I think.
2 a day.
2 12s, I think.
Well, you
So
may,
I might can
you
weigh
may
2.
catch 2 then.
Maybe.
Well, I would've had that today.
I mean, I've been known to catch a few that while enough, you know.
Well, we have.
Well, I'm
too,
sure you're
but
going back to
it's-
the spring when you had a couple of good
No, I've
tournaments.
done good in the fall and while.
You know, we've been hearing about these spring tournaments. I'm wondering how long they're gonna last, but whatever.
So what do you got coming this weekend?
In the morning, I'm fishing the big bass tournament at Normal, and I'm gonna take Saturday off, and I'm gonna fish again Sunday.
Oh, you're not
Same
fishing
tournament.
all 3 days?
I'm fishing 2 out of 3 days.
He's old,
It's
man.
fine.
He can't fish 3 days in a row. You
No.
gotta have a day in between to
No,
recuperate.
I will argue with you on that because
Tell him.
Now, Jason, you're not supposed to be on this side.
no, now listen, I'll be
Y'all
honest
have
with you.
words for you, fella?
To be his age, I'm telling you guys, he all day long, cast for cast with me. I'm telling you.
I'll
he's
admit
right.
it. I'll admit
And
it.
you're in better shape than he is.
I'll admit it. He's pretty. He's He's
To be his age,
he's pretty good for
he's pretty tough.
7 years
He's a
old.
pretty tough old cookie.
Why does
Yeah.
he have to keep saying to be his age?
That's offensive, Bobby, isn't it? I mean, really. I don't
Yeah,
say
Jason,
anything-
why would you insult him like that?
I mean, it's just the way I see it.
Well, thank you. Your intentions were really good.
They
but
were.
They were. They
They
were.
got sidetracked by
Yeah.
Hammer a little bit.
So what you got coming up?
Like I said, this weekend's the ABA Championship at Wiley. That's 2 days, and then next Thursday starts the Toyota at Norman, which I'm probably not going to get to practice for. So it's probably a good thing because it's going to get beat to death this weekend for probably 500 boats all weekend. So
Yeah. You think there'll be that many?
there'll be probably, I'd say 300 to 500. Yeah, there's always is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have that, and then as soon as that's over with, we're headed to the James River for the regional, for the BFL regional.
And that's next week?
The week, let's see, Thursday and Friday, and they cut for Saturday at Norman, and then we'll leave Sunday, and the James River starts the next Thursday.
You got some experience up there too, man.
A little bit. Just it's a tighter water, and it's different because it's really tighter. The Potomac.
They got
You can't-
catfish.
I hope not, but I'm sure they do. But anyway, the Potomac is it only goes up most of the time in the day. It don't even go up 2 foot. The James, I think it goes up.
yeah.
It maybe goes up 3 foot or more. I'm not sure the exact number, but when it starts running, it's like a bad current. I mean, it's so much current. Sometimes in places it's hard to even fish.
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot different than the Potomac.
So a couple of weeks ago, you were in Maryland, I
Yeah,
guess.
and
And
Maryland.
you kept sending out these pictures of catfish.
Man, I was killing the catfish.
Have they started weighing them? I mean, I'm just curious. Have they started actually weighing them in bass tournaments?
If they
or-
did, they'd have been in trouble.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is the tip.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to help you.
Okay, help me.
Maybe stick with the bass. Let the catfish swim.
They do kind of feed in the same areas. So it's, so you just have to figure out what not to catch a catfish on.
Hey, we went on a pretty good roll catching catfish at Wiley.
Last year, you
year.
caught.
I did,
You
I
caught
did.
a bunch of them on Wiley.
Oh, that's some monsters at Wiley.
Big ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to stop throwing Marcos's crankbait up at Potomac because I was scared I was going to lose it. But that K9 line never broke. But I was scared it was going to happen because you're fishing it over grass, and them big catfish would grab a hold of that thing and they'd start ripping your drag. It was
And
crazy.
they were big, wasn't they? I
Oh,
saw
I
a
mean,
picture of one that was.
We was catching them up to 20 pounds. Like most, and all of them was at least 5 pounds. It was all they were good ones.
That's crazy. That's
So-
crazy. Well, good luck. I hope you do well up there.
So
I
we
feel
got
sure you
the
will.
big bass this weekend.
Yeah.
We got ABA.
Hey, you've got a tournament Saturday at High Rock.
Yeah, we're going to High Rock.
High Rock CBC's this weekend too.
Yep.
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 And then, what is, me and you were fishing the cat championship on Wiley next weekend.
October the 1st, is it?
Third.
Third?
That's
Okay.
next weekend.
Okay, next weekend.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
do some
Roger said, ain't there a cat this weekend too down there?
time.
At
Wiley?
I don't know. I'm
Is
not
there?
sure.
I thought he told me something about he was gonna go fish the cat so he could qualify for the championship and take your money. I think that's how he told me.
Okay. Well, he's told me that. He's told us.
Now
that.
hold on now. You know what you're on right now. Don't talk trash.
He's told us that twice in the last 6 weeks. And how did it
Well,
work
that
out
wasn't
for
it.
him?
That wasn't at Wiley one fish.
No,
man.
no, that was on his home lake on Norman.
I know. I
How'd
know,
that work
but
out
this
for
is
him?
on your home lake.
How'd that work out for him?
Well, I don't know. I'm not.
Well, you were with
I'm
him
not,
one
I'm not,
time.
I'm not with him on this one.
You were with him one
He's
time.
on his own.
Okay. all
Okay,
right.
what else we talking about? We talked about the tournaments enough.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I want to talk to Bobby Derrick.
Okay,
While
Bobby
I'm here.
Derrick.
Yes. Welcome, my friend.
My pleasure.
So what have you been up to? I mean, besides, I know you've been fishing for a long, long time. What else are you doing?
Well, I continue to work a day or two at Bass Pro Shop in Concord, along with my FLW duties. Work with the BFLs. Mac Lowe and I are assistant tournament directors,
Okay.
and been doing that for 16 years now, I think.
16 years.
Good.
Mac's
gracious.
been doing it for like 20.
Really?
So it keeps us busy.
Now Max Boy's doing it,
Yep,
Really?
yep.
and your son Kyle's doing it. Isn't he your son?
Golly.
Is he not your son?
That was,
boy, he's
that was-
looking for it, isn't he?
He's treading on.
Oh, boy.
Boy, if you hit him, it won't matter, Bob. We won't care.
Oh, Kyle's a great guy.
Oh yeah, he is. He
Very
is.
good kid.
Yeah.
So, and then I spend my during the week that I'm not working, I'm usually fishing a day or two.
Okay. Mostly at Norman or?
Mostly at Norman.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed, the lake's changed so much over its course of its lifetime. Started out real good and then it got real bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank goodness somehow the spotted bass got in there.
Right.
And so that's changed things a lot in the lake.
Yes,
It's back
a lot.
to a really, really fine
Yeah.
fishery, and along with the size of the lake, it can handle some of the bigger tournaments.
It definitely
Right,
can.
absolutely.
So it's been
Definitely.
an attraction for the local
Sure.
area up there.
Sure.
It's helped a lot.
I think the lake's
Cornelius,
fishing-
Davidson area,
Yeah, I think the lake's fishing is good or better than it ever has.
it
Right
is.
there.
Well, like September's usually so tough, and most places you can't catch 5 a lot of times. In Norman, most likely you're going to catch 5.
Oh yeah,
So
it's not
Yeah.
very hard to catch 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
hold on. Oh, before we go any further, now you told me something about you had a pet fish up there. Let's talk about that pet fish you got.
You just had to say something about
Well,
that.
I really, I got this Toyota tournament coming next week. I kind of wanted to, you'll probably be at the
Better not
weigh-in.
catch
I
my
wanted,
pet
no, I
fish.
wanted to bring him up there so you could get more acquainted with him if you let me catch him.
In the last 5 weeks, I've caught the same spotted bass, weighs 3 pounds and 13 ounces. I've caught him
That's
4
a big
times.
that's a big.
I've caught him
He caught him 4 times on the same
4
cast.
times.
Where's he at, Bob?
No.
I gotta tell you.
That's a
You're gonna have to go
bluefish.
hunting for yourself.
He told me what it
He
was
will
on,
bite.
so I know what it is. I know it might take me 2 whole days to fish every one of these things, but I think I could find him.
4 times. I caught him yesterday again for the 4th time.
That is crazy, man.
What's he got, a marking on him or something?
He's got a bad eye on the left side, and he's also got a little white spot right here. But he
Okay.
weighs 3 pounds
13
and 13
ounces.
Has he weighed that each time?
every
Yeah.
single time.
Ain't that crazy?
When's the
He
first
eats
time
the
you
same
caught?
bait
5
on the
weeks
same
ago.
cast,
You catch him on the same bait every
same
time.
bait, same cast, a little flip in there. By the time he hits the bottom, he's coming back to the boat, and then he's coming in the boat.
That's unbelievable.
He's a glutton for
That is
punishment, isn't he?
unbelievable.
I've
He just
never had
likes
that
you.
happen.
He likes to come in your boat. So.
I guess. Well, that's nuts. Now, I bought some stuff several years ago, Bass Pro Shop, and I was talking to you, and you were telling me then you were catching them real deep, or pretty deep on drop shot. at Norman.
That's what I enjoy doing the most.
You still do it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And now yesterday was a little different. The fish are starting school around. Caught somewhere around 40 bass yesterday,
Really?
Wow.
and I caught them shallow, caught them deep.
Okay.
But the lake's beginning to change some, and I think it's getting ready to really get fun.
Yeah.
The main thing that I enjoy getting up there at Lake Norman is I enjoy getting out, graphing the lake, finding new holes.
Yeah.
I've got places that I know in my heart nobody's ever fished before.
Right.
Big stump or big rock.
Yeah.
Nobody spends the time out there
To really
to
learn
hunt
it.
these places.
Yeah.
You
And
sound like
I
him.
don't put-
That's what he does a
I've
lot.
put a lot of time in on it.
Yeah.
And I've got about 750 waypoints on the lake.
Really?
Nice.
And
That's a lot.
and that's fun. That's fun to me. Find the fish, catch them.
Wow. That's
Can I
cool.
bring my chip and you copy a moment?
How do you see the contours
You
of the
oughta-
You
lake with
couldn't
all the
find them
waypoints?
anyway, Scott.
Hey, charge him $10 a waypoint.
Usually, if I can't see the bottom, I'm not gonna find it.
Charge
Yeah,
him
you have a hard
$10.
time finding looking at that little screen.
Yeah, he don't even look at electronics. I mean,
do.
when you
You know,
fish that deep, you
I
don't.
look at electronics.
What? Why do you care how
has to know
deep
what
it
creek
is
he's
if
in.
you don't fish any deeper than this?
I fish deeper than that sometimes.
The electronics have changed
Oh my gosh.
fishing, bass fishing, so much in the last 5 to 8 years. There's
Yeah.
a lot of new technology that
Oh, yeah.
I haven't even gotten into, but that's the fun part of going to Lake Norman
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Is
What-
hunting new spots.
What kind of electronics do you run? on
I
the
use
boat?
Lowrance
Okay.
electronics.
Okay.
No, you just mainly using your side imaging and stuff like that, looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long years ago, I worked very closely with Humminbird, but when I went to work with FLW, on our staff boats we had Lowrance. So both two really fine electronics companies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
they've done a lot to help us as fishermen over the
Right.
years.
Oh, yeah.
Right, right.
So it's a good tribute to both of those companies.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they really helped us out.
Absolutely. Did you know Blake Honeycutt
Very
helped
well.
design Hummingbird? Did y'all know that?
Yes, he did.
I'm serious, he did.
2 years ago, I took Blake fishing. He had
Really?
a mutual friend. Blake had never drop shot fished
Really?
before, ever in his life. And he heard through a friend that I was doing a lot of that on Lake Norman, so he called me and asked me if I would take him drop shot fishing.
Wow, how cool is
I
that?
thought that was the greatest thing. That just blew
Absolutely.
me away.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
I mean,
because
if-
Blake is really, truly one of the innovators in this area.
No doubt.
You know?
Well, Blake is one of the innovators for fishing worldwide, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
he is.
He is, definitely. And to be from this area is just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from Hickory. That's crazy. He's a pioneer in the sport.
absolutely.
Not only
He is a true
a
legend.
true legend
Yes.
in every sense of the word. And not only with the Hummingbird electronics, but with Ranger bass boats, with offshore
Truly.
fishing. It just goes on and on and on.
area.
No doubt.
First Ranger that I ever saw, Blake was running.
Yeah.
First Ranger boat I ever saw. Running.
Blooper. Is this going on bloopers?
Scott,
I just hit the wrong button.
do we need to take this away
You
from
might,
you?
you might need to.
Why don't we sit this down by Jason?
I was trying to get the comments where I could see them. So I don't know what
Well,
I'm
do you
doing.
have to hear them,
Well,
or
what
can you
about
not
hear
just
'em?
look at them? Why don't we just look at them and since
Just calm down. We're good.
We need to remember this for our blooper show.
it's a blooper show every single Thursday night? What do you mean? Remember,
This show's nothing but bloopers.
hey, it's coming every Thursday if we like it or not. Yeah.
Okay, so what? Let's see. I guess I met Bobby. How long ago did I met? I met you at a Jerry Ryan tournament. I was practicing the Jerry Ryan tournament, and I was fishing with Dave Snyder, and he invited you to come fishing with us. I think that's the first time I met you, and that's probably been.
I remember that.
That might have been 2000, 2001, maybe.
Probably about then.
So about 20 years,
Yeah.
and so.
And you've whipped my tail enough up on Lake Norman.
Well,
so I said, I ain't going but
I ain't gonna say that.
Yes, him no more.
But I wasn't around back when UNC Wright used to fish at Wiley though.
Hey, he wore me out one time many
What did
years
he catch him
ago.
on, Mike? Now this I know. Yeah, listen, y'all listen to this. He's fixing to tell y'all something that maybe happened 40 years ago, and he's going to tell you exactly what and where he caught them fish and got beat. Because if somebody beats him, he's going to find out what they did that he don't know. Now go ahead and tell us, Mike.
Okay, so it may have been longer than 40 years. Might have been 45. It's a long time ago.
Wow.
But here's what I always remembered about that. I thought it was a pretty tough day. And come in, and Bobby couldn't, he had to drag his fish to the scales. He couldn't carry them. They were all like this. And he come up to me after the tournament, and I congratulated him, and I'm like, man, that's unbelievable. And he said, you ain't going to believe this, see, right? I caught him in one place and told me, good enough to tell me where he caught him in River Hills on a point on the left with a spoonbill rebel. And I remember that after all these years.
Can you
And
tell
I
us what a
promise you-
spoonbill rebel is?
It's a longbill rebel,
Yeah, yeah.
deep running rebel.
You probably don't have any of them, do
Rebel
you?
mounted.
You own one?
Oh, I don't
can
know
go
what it
over here-
is.
I can go over here and get you one.
Oh, I bet you can.
I've seen it. I mean, I've
This
seen
place
it.
is like this place is like a museum
It
of
actually
old baits.
is.
Well, new baits too.
Well, everything I show you, but other than that, everything's old.
And lots of trophies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he don't know anything about that, Bobby. But anyway. But yeah, I remember that because of the weight. It was an incredible weight. And you've won a lot of tournaments since then, I know, with big weights. But that was one of them that, boy, it stuck in my mind. It really did.
Yeah, you actually told me that story when we were back there fishing there one day. I remember him actually telling me about that day.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That made a mark on me, Bob.
Yeah.
That did.
We pulled up to fish that place one day, and I remember you telling me about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I remember. I'll always remember. Just like Mobley, back in the day, Ted Mobley, he came in with some bags of fish that sort of etched in my memory that I'll never forget.
Can I tell you a little story about Ted?
Here we
Absolutely.
go.
Absolutely.
I think this is what we do here tonight.
That's
a
story.
We can tell some stories.
This is
We
stories.
can. Yeah.
I drew Ted Mobley in one of Jerry Ryan's Fisherman Bass Circle tournaments. When they called our names out, I saw Ted go
I bet.
because he was catching them,
Yeah.
and he was catching them deep. And at the time, not too many people knew how he was catching them,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to show me.
Right. I'm sure.
Well, you'll remember the big 1 ounce hot spots that we used to lead years ago and fish on them deep holes out there.
Yeah.
Well, I fished with him that day.
Yeah.
Learned how to fish that bait.
Yeah.
I had been fishing somewhat like that, but not exactly.
Right.
And we had a great day.
Yeah, I bet.
And a year later, and this is probably one of my proudest moments. A year later, we had a 202 boat shrine tournament, and the fish were on that type of hole, and they were on that bait.
Yeah.
And I happened to get 5 fish at Lake Wiley that weighed 39.5 pounds.
5 fish?
5 fish had a 9.5, 8.5, 2 7.5, and 6.5
Golly, that's
off of
great.
one spot
One play.
on a leaded hot spot.
Wow.
And I doubt if anybody's ever going to beat that.
I
That's
wouldn't
one of
think
my proudest moments.
so. Absolutely.
What was the weight again?
39.5 pounds.
And how many fish?
5 fish.
5 fish.
That's a good weight.
That's unbelievable weight.
This was Lake
So
Wiley.
that was, yeah, believe it or not.
And C-Wright didn't go fishing with you the next week?
He was probably
He
fishing
probably,
that tournament.
it's probably because you didn't have cell phones back then.
Hey, I probably
Maybe.
finished second that day. I mean, I don't know.
I can see it now. Your phone would have rang Monday. Bobby,
How'd you do
we're
that?
having a cookout. We're having a cookout over here. Come on over.
I'll be right there, Mike.
And then he starts cooking and he probably gives
Give
you
him
a
a
few
big-
adult beverages.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, let's see you go fishing this week. I know him like a book.
I'd have probably taken him.
You know, back then, there was a 10 fish limit in a lot of those tournaments.
The week before, it took 55 pounds to win.
Well,
a 10
that's
fish
what I was
tournament.
going to
That's
say.
crazy.
The
I
very
had
week before.
52 in a tournament that put in at South Fork. 52 and finished third. Well, Larry Pearson
Larry
won
Pearson and
it.
Doug Brogdon.
Yep, won it with like 55. That's
55.
right.
And what did you have Saturday? 1 pound?
Maybe 1 pound.
Is
He's
that
not gonna let
crazy?
you He's not going to let you live.
No,
It's really just to stress the point. Wiley, I mean, just think about the way it used to be compared to
know.
what
That
it
was
is now.
1990, and I honestly think that's the last time the big fish bit at Lake Wiley.
Yeah, probably so.
Really, really bit.
For a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't that one person. I mean, there were tournaments back then where Ted and Basil would come in and blow it away with big weights.
Yeah.
But back then, in the late 80s up through, I was thinking maybe 91, 92, but you may be right, Bob, maybe 90, I don't know. But back then, man, there was 5 or 6 teams that would come in with a 5 pound average.
Yeah.
Man, I wasn't even fishing back then.
Well, you wasn't even alive
Well, I
back
was
then, probably.
Yeah, 1990. Yeah, I probably wasn't alive back then. So
You was
I
probably
probably,
playing with Tonka toys.
I probably was still better than you though.
So that was in 90 when you weighed that back
That was
in?
1990. I still have a picture of those fish.
Wow,
And,
that's crazy, man.
And Postrom's wife took the picture, and I had a little plaque engraved with it.
Wow.
March 31st, 1990.
That's crazy.
And I bet
Poss
you-
had some of those 50-pound stringers
Yes,
too.
he did.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. People talk about the competition is so much better nowadays, and I think that's probably true with electronics and all, but back then, there was a lot of good fishermen in this area back then too. A lot of
Definitely.
good
Well,
fishermen.
always
look at
has
the guys
been.
that
Yeah.
fish BASS from this area
It's crazy.
and the FLW events. And
It's a hot
Boys, if you
of
catch
the
them
nation.
around, if you can catch them around here,
You
you're
could
doing
catch 'em
something.
anywhere.
That's serious.
Yeah.
You can compete anywhere.
Yeah, I've
Absolutely.
always thought that.
Yeah,
I've always thought
absolutely.
that. I have. Well, Bobby, we really appreciate you coming tonight.
Oh, that's an honor.
I've
Yeah,
always had
I-
so much respect for you. I mean, you're not only a great fisherman, you're a great person, and I've told people that for years, and I mean that. Thank you. I
that-
appreciate you coming. We really do.
That's very sincere, and I certainly
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it, and I think of you exactly the same.
Hey, you're welcome to be here anytime, brother. All right, jigs. You want to talk about jigs first?
Let's talk about them.
Let's talk about
Here's-
Before y'all go on to jigs,
Okay.
I just wanted to talk about the giveaway again for everybody that's just now hopping on.
Okay.
There's 2 giveaways, the Waterwood crankbait, and then we've got 2 jigs, so it'll be 3 giveaways total. And what you have to do to enter that giveaway is to subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment subscribe.
Okay.
We have another giveaway for a $25 Azteca gift card.
Yep.
And all you have to do for that is share the video and comment shared. You can enter both.
Okay. Okay.
All right, well, let's get into the jigs. We're gonna talk about jigs tonight, and I'm a big jig fisherman,
Yep.
which most people in this area are, because that's usually the way to win.
Absolutely.
And it's a big fish bait. It's the most versatile. If I only had to pick one bait in the tackle box, it's gonna be a jig,
Yeah.
because you can fish it deep, you can fish it shallow, you can swim it, whatever.
Right.
It's just so versatile, and there's just so many different jigs you can fish with. So
Right.
show them some of the things you got up here, Mike.
Okay. What I tried to do, I tried to get sort of a variety of jigs, and Courtney, you may want to zoom in a little bit, but if that's possible, if you got enough cord, I don't know. But I'm gonna start out with a couple half-ounce jigs.
Did you ever win any money on a jig like that?
I have. I have.
Just a little bit?
I have. Okay. All right. So here's a jig that Greg Lovelace made. I hope
Yeah,
people
they
can
can
see
see
it.
it.
They can see it?
Yes.
Okay. And this was tequila. This was a color that we kept to ourselves. Greg made jigs, and I think he still does today. But back in the day, when he and I fished team tournaments together, we took this jig called tequila, and we also used this jig, a brown one. Now this one has a little bit of lime in it, but we used these 2 half-ounce jigs, and over a 5-year period, we won 7 bass boats over a 5-year period on these 2 jigs alone. Now, the one that's tequila, we would fish in dirty water, in heavily stained dirty water. It's got a harness, and these rattles will pop off. You can take them off. You can, if they want a lot of noise, you can add. You can have 2. We've even put 2 harnesses to put 4 rattles in
Wow.
really, really dirty
Four.
water.
I never used rattles, but that's,
It made a difference. It seemed like
if you think it
made
makes a difference, that's all it's about.
Exactly. And if you wanted, if they didn't want noise, then they're easily exchangeable. You take them off. But this jig with this trailer, this is a smoke blue purple trailer,
Super chunk.
super chunk, is what we use. So that's the setup we use to win those boats. Greg and I fish this primarily 2 ways. We'd fish it on rock, individual rocks offshore, and we fish it on docks. Most of the time when we were at Wiley, we were fishing it on rocks. Most of the time when we were fishing it in South Carolina or Georgia or Oklahoma or wherever we were fishing, we would be fishing it on docks. So these 2 jigs were major players. Now if you'll notice, look how long the rubber is. And this is the old square rubber. This is living rubber. I don't even know if they make it anymore. It's the old square rubber, and
Yeah, you can still get it.
you can still get it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Louis
There was a time you couldn't though. for
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Now,
I
you didn't trim that?
No,
You
that's,
left it?
well, here's the thing. I had Greg always make the rubber longer on mine. I wanted long rubber, and the reason I did that is for a couple reasons. One, it was a bigger profile bait. I felt like it caught bigger fish. The other thing is when you're working that bait, if you drop it, that it would flare and it would stand up, and it looked like it was actually living.
Yeah.
So if I got in a situation to where fishing was tough for whatever reason, I could always trim it. I could cut it. I could cut off, but I couldn't add. So I wanted it long to start with. So that's the reason I did that. So in my fishing career, these are the two most successful jigs I've ever thrown. Now, it's old school. Will they work today? I'm sure they will.
It's big in South Carolina too. The South Carolina lakes is that mop jig like that's real popular.
Well, I mean, we took these jigs to Gunnersville in Alabama. Didn't know anything about the lake, and won 2 bass boats in one tournament on these jigs. We took it to West Point. We won Georgia State Championship on this jig. We won. Went to Oklahoma, won a boat on this jig. We went to Hickory, won a boat on this jig. It didn't matter
Yeah.
where we went. It
Davey-
was
Just
that
had
good.
big
Davey
profile.
Hite made a living on that.
That's right.
Well, Davey Hite copied this jig. I mean, he'll tell you that. Davey Heights is a good friend of mine, and Davey and I used to fish a lot. I showed this jig to Davey, and so Davey started making them. And his is a little bit different design. It flares a little better, but yeah, that's where that came from. So those are good.
And now Greg's started back tying jigs again.
I think Greg Lovis is back tying jigs
He is.
again. I think he is.
He's got a
And man,
Facebook page,
I'm up
L&M
to
Lures.
L&M Lures.
Yeah.
And he stopped making them for a while, and he started back.
Yeah, he's back making them, and he's making that.
He's
jig.
yeah. But I'd like to give these 2 away tonight, and so we'll be giving these 2 jigs away. So Courtney,
You're not gonna give them? Can I get them?
I'll give you a couple, but somebody else is
Wow.
gonna get them too.
Can I get a couple too?
Jason, would you like that?
I've got some on your bar.
All right. Okay, so that's those 2 jigs. Of
So
course,
to get them jigs,
Yeah.
you've got to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you want to have a chance to win either one of them jigs, you gotta go subscribe and make sure you comment subscribe.
okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
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 And
Good.
nobody really has these jigs, guys.
No.
I mean,
No,
these
those are old school for sure.
they're old school, but they're different.
They're different. They're
They're
not.
not like what everybody else is throwing.
No,
so.
no.
And why don't we throw them much anymore?
We probably will shortly,
Okay.
especially after this past Saturday.
Okay.
Here's a 1/4 ounce jig. We went to Mississippi one time and fished, and it was really, really tough. Couldn't get bit. Greg tied some 1/4 ounce jigs, and it fell really, really slow. And we didn't win the tournament, but we did really, really well. We lost a fish that would have won the tournament, but sometimes that can make a difference. This is and these jigs, let me say this also, these jigs primarily fish around structure, rocks, stumps, ledges, ridges, docks, but it's not in my opinion, it's not a great brush jig.
It's
It's an archy head, style head, and it'll catch on brush a lot of times.
Yeah, it's hard to bring through brush.
It is.
That's more of a like grass jig there, swimming this one.
Yeah, this jig with the bullet head, and this is an old Doc McDaniel jig that I have a lot of, and I've always loved this jig for brush. This bullet head will come through the trees really good. You never get hung up.
Yeah.
Very seldom ever get hung up. Doc made a stiff weed guard on it to ensure it wouldn't get hung up. So this is a good jig as far as brush. Fishing out deep, we would throw 3/4 ounce jigs. And again, this is Greg.
Or the football head. You have
Football
football,
head
head.
and-
That's just
And look
yeah.
how long the rubber is. And this one we had a combination of black and brown. And that was a color combination not many people ever threw. And that made a lot of difference back in the day.
Anything the fish don't see a lot of.
Anything
you're
they
good.
don't, exactly. A swimming jig, got a head design, it'll come through
Grass. That's right.
come through grass. Swimming, this has got a big hook, 5/0 hook in it. It's got a good keeper on it. And what I normally do on this is take out some of the weed guard and work it back and forth to get it to where it's not as stiff, because when that fish gets it, you already got pressure on that fish when he gets it. So when that happens, a lot of times you don't really have an opportunity to really set the hook.
That's right.
So you want that hook to go into that fish immediately when he grabs it. So that swimming jig's good for that. And listen, I mean, these half-ounce jigs, we used to swim them. I mean, it's the same way. You can catch fish swimming any jig. It don't have to be a specific one.
Well, that's one of my favorite methods too, swimming.
Now, I'm more of the dock fisherman with the jigs. So I mean, I'm a shooter jig guy. So
Right.
if I'm gonna roll cast it, I'm gonna use a 6-9 rod, medium heavy, and I'm gonna use this. I'm just it's different color. That's the black and blue shooter half-ounce jig. I usually use a half-ounce most of the time. It's just what I use on docks, and then the one I use the most would be I use a 7-1 IMX Pro G Loomis, and then I use this that real light reel, and then this is your crawdad jig. That's probably Louis' biggest seller, probably crawdad color, and I usually put just a regular old big salty chunk on the back. That's because most people think you're fishing a jig. Most people think they're thinking it's crawdad.
Right.
In my opinion, when you're fishing docks, they're thinking it's a brim.
Brim.
Yeah.
So you want a big profile. So that, and then you can use the super chunk.
Right.
And then a lot of times I'll put a Reaction Innovation Spicy Beaver on there. I actually come in ninth or eighth or whatever at the Open at Chickamauga with the Spicy Beaver on there. And then if it gets real tough, you can go to these finesse jigs. I mean, this is got a super chunk junior on it, smaller, compact, and then you get this, and you can put the Biz bait, baby Biz bug. You put that on the back, and that can make a difference a lot of times, because sometimes they don't want the big jig; they want something finessey.
Right.
So that's what you go to with that.
Right.
But like I say, the jig's the most versatile thing there is. Like you say, you're fishing it deep, you're fishing it on docks, you're fishing it in brush,
Swimming it.
you're swimming it, you're fishing it on rocks in a foot of water.
So let's talk about our setup, sort of, to let the guys let people know what we use as far as line, rods, reels. What kind of equipment are you using?
On this, I'm gonna use it on the.
Let's say you go to Norman, you're gonna fish a tournament tomorrow, and you're gonna be flipping docks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna fish the finesse jig,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
throw
a
it.
great jig.
I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it on a 7-foot rod. I'm gonna put 15-pound fluorocarbon K9 line. If I'm throwing the big jig,
half ounce.
I'm throwing it on 20-pound
K9.
K9, 29 K9, or 20, even 25. Sometimes if the water's dirty, I'll go to 25.
Yeah, me too.
But that's what I do.
Rod, what length rod do you use?
I use either 7-foot or 7-1 on either thing. I mean, I don't like to use a real long rod. Some people use 7-6, but I'm skipping it like this.
Yeah.
I want the lightest rod and the lightest reel, because if you're skipping it like this and you do it long enough, your arms are going to be killing you. So the lighter the better. And and a lot of people get this notion that you fish a jig, you got to use a heavy rod. Wrong. Not in my opinion. No way.
Tip.
If you don't have no tip to the rod, when you fight it, you get a big one on you, fight into the boat, he's going to surge, the rod ain't going to give, he's going to pull the jig out, he's come loose, whatever. People say, well, you can't get the hook in with a immediate head. You can.
Oh yeah.
You could go over that door over there and hold my jig, and I can jerk it just like that, and it's going to jerk it right in your hand.
Especially the fluorocarbon.
That's right. Yeah. Fluorocarbon's got a lot less stretch than mono, so that's pretty much what I do.
I use the same line, same as you do basically. I use except for my rod, I got used to a 610. I use a Falcon Lowrider or Cara 610.
But you roll cast.
No, I do both.
You do.
I pitch.
If I'm gonna roll cast, I'm using a 6.9.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it like this,
I use my 610 for everything.
Yeah.
I use it. I've just got used to that rod 20 some years.
It's what you get used to.
And I've stuck with it. I own several of them. I mean, five or six 610 Falcons, and I'm just used to that rod, and that's what I like.
And then my opinion is, you're gonna win tournaments. you better be on your game. You better be able to put it places people can't put
And
it.
that's why when you get used to a rod, you need to stick
That's
with
right.
it and learn it. Have you several reels of the same reel, same setup, same line? Have 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them.
Yep.
And get used to them. Don't switch. Learn how to use those rod and reels.
That's right.
Use and stick to them.
Yeah.
The more you switch up, the more you're going to mess up.
That's right.
True. That's true. And it goes back to what I was saying 2 days ago on how to win tournaments. It's the little things that matter. And that's a
Exactly.
great point.
Yeah.
I mean, and I even mentioned casting. I used to practice at different trajectories or different heights, pitching a jig every day.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're comfortable with and whatever it is you like, you need to get
And
really,
it's like
really
it's
good
like you.
at it.
It's right. And like me and Hoover, we've been fishing together for 25 years, and we fish tournaments. We've always fished tournaments together. I run the trolling motor. He stands right beside me or right behind me.
Yeah.
And it's like
You know every
clockwork.
move.
It's like clockwork. I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick it apart and we're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And that's this society. I mean, and that's why I think that's a lot to our success. And we we do things a certain way, and then we don't. I don't chase chase rainbows. I don't listen to all this doc talk and all this and try to go
You
do
can't
things that you
No,
don't do.
you can't
That's
do
right.
that. You can't do that. Back when I fished, so I was fishing 50 tournaments a year.
Stay away from the people.
I would intentionally stay at motels 30 miles on average away from the lake where the tournament was. Because
Really?
I did it religiously, and I did it
That's
because
smart, though.
I didn't want to hear.
How many times you ever been somewhere to a big tournament like that, and the person you're with, not saying they ain't fishing with you, they're on the phone constantly with somebody,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and they're all telling them something different to do. It ain't gonna do nothing to confuse you.
No, yeah.
And it's even worse when you're with somebody that's, oh, I'm killing them. 9 times out of 10, when somebody tells you that in the tournament, they don't catch them.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question. How many times has somebody told you, going into a big tournament, somebody told you, if you'll go here and do this particular thing, you'll catch them because I'm killing them and I don't mind, I'm not going to fish them, you go to them and catch them. How many times has people told you that and it worked out?
Very seldom. I got a theory on that.
Okay.
If Roger called me up and told me that,
That don't count.
no, listen, no, I'm not. I'm just using for an example. If Roger called me up and told me that, I could go do it and catch some fish.
Coach, you know
If somebody I
exactly
don't fish with calls and
Yeah.
tells me something out of the blue to go do,
Yeah.
you're not going to go catch those fish. Not usually.
Hard to catch another man.
That's exactly right. Now Roger, me and him's like one and the same. So I'm going to do. If he tells me something, I know what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't talking about your partner. If Jason calls me tonight and says, here, go do so-and-so at Norman tomorrow, well, I fish with Jason up. I know exactly I can go do it. And I got confidence in it. But people that you don't fish with, that you don't know real well, how many times have they told you and it worked out?
Really, none that I can think
Okay.
of. It's
That's
usually
what
that,
I
and that's what I go by.
Very difficult.
That's what I go
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
I don't like to. Even if you're staying with a bunch of people, I just don't want to hear it all. Oh, I'm killing them. I'm doing this. I'm killing them. I'm killing them. Because even if they are killing them, you don't want to hear that because it's getting in your head. You got to figure out
Yeah.
your strength, how
Yeah.
you catch them.
Yep.
I don't vary from my strength very much.
No.
I'm gonna fish certain ways, and that's how I'm gonna catch them.
Well, it's worked for you.
Well,
You've been successful, so why would you do anything
I think a
different?
lot of pros do that. They talk to all the other pros and they start doing things that they're not really in depth in doing, and
Better
it
fish
throws them off their
experience.
game.
I agree. I agree. I agree. 100%.
How many times do you ever won a tournament you was not doing what you do, like the kind of fishing that you're really comfortable with doing? How many you ever won?
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Over the years, I made it a point. I mean, I had the honor of fishing with Ronnie Tapp for 11 years, and I was a pretty good shallow water fisherman, won a lot of tournaments before I started fishing
Exactly,
with Ronnie.
yeah.
Now, once I started fishing with Ronnie, that changed a
To a
lot.
deep
But-
fishing.
Yeah, because Ronnie, he was one of the best deep water fishermen, and I know, Bobby, you know, he was one of the best deep water fishermen that's ever been around here. So quite naturally, you know, that a lot of days I'd get in a boat with him and he's like, we're going to fish humps today. Well, I had confidence that we were probably going to catch him because he knew what he was doing. So I learned from him. So I got
But
comfortable
that's
fishing
totally
deep.
different though, because you're actually in the boat with him, and
Sure.
y'all are doing. But I'm just saying, you yourself, how many times have you ever gone to the lake and say, well, I'm gonna drop shot today, and I'm gonna win this tournament? with this something that you're not in depth in, not, and I don't know if you're a drop shot or not, I'm not even going, I'm just saying it's something you're not used to doing. How many tournaments have you ever won doing something that you're not?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
And guys get online. Oh, he's doing this. He's doing that. He's using this bait. He's using that bait. I just think if guys would, you settle down, you know your niche, you know what you do the best.
Yep.
Jig, this right here, you're never gonna go wrong doing this.
No.
How many tournaments has been won on the jig?
I know I won my share.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
jig fishing,
We all have.
in this area especially.
Well, we say this area especially, but
It's all over, yeah. But
I won more tournaments out of state on
well,
that.
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Because
How many-
everybody does it here.
But how many times have you ever gone out of town to a lake and it's like, there ain't nobody doing this, and you kill them, and you're
Many
like,
times.
exactly,
Many
exactly.
times.
You can go up to New York and take that jig, and it's unreal the bites you can get on it.
This area is known for really good jig fishermen.
Absolutely.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you have,
Absolutely.
if you ain't a good jig fisherman around here, you're going to lose.
Because
You're
we
not
get our
going
brains
to win a
beat out
lot.
around here with these guys.
And you know what amazed me so much about that, Bobby? Greg and I went to a Grand Lake in Oklahoma to fish a national tournament, Super Bass national tournament, giving away a boat. Nobody. I mean, we practiced like 2 days, and I mean, I'm practicing. There's 400 boats, so there's boats all around you. You can see everybody knows what everybody's doing. I didn't see anybody throwing a jig. Nobody. And it was ridiculous. Everywhere we flipped it, we'd have it walking off, and I kept telling Greg, don't jerk. You know?
Well, a lot of guys in other parts of the country, they don't fish like we do
Well,
around here. I
but
mean,
it
that's
was
just how it
easy.
is.
It was easy.
Let me tell you a story. It's a funny story. I don't know if he's watching tonight. Jamie Horton. He's a pro fisherman. He
Yep,
fishes.
absolutely.
He fishes the tour. He's won lots of stuff. He calls me up. Need to take me to Wiley. I got a big tournament down at Wiley. You need to take me down there and show me how to catch the fish. I said, okay, I'll take you. So we go down there, and I said, okay, you take this jig here. I said, they probably ain't going to be on it right now, but when you come back, this is what they're going to be on. And I was showing him what kind of docks to fish, and I was showing him how to slide it up under the docks and everything, and he started trying it. He knocking the docks, the pontoons,
Sounds like
weaves in a marina. He hit this guy's boat, and the guy come out and cussed him out, and they got in a big argument. And so we finished the day up, and I said, well, Jamie, this is a big national tournament for people from all over. You know, there wasn't very many people from this area going to be fishing. I said, Jamie, I got good news and I got bad news. He said, well, what's the good news? I said, well, there's probably not going to be a lot of jig fishermen in this tournament. He said, well, what's the bad news? I said, if there's one, you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
I've reminded him of that a lot of times.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. He's a little big to be cussing, though.
Well,
He'd be one of the last ones I'd want to cuss out.
we're buddies. He loves to talk trash.
Yeah.
You might not know it, but he calls me.
Oh, he's a
he's
good
a
guy.
pot. I call him a pot stirrer. He likes to stir up the pot. So.
He likes to talk that trash, doesn't
That's right.
he? All right. All right, is that it on jigs? Anything else?
I got a question.
Okay.
You adjust or work with your weed guard a little bit differently on different
Right.
for different reasons.
Right.
One of the best jig fishermen that I know told me a little secret.
Okay.
You remember Frank Jennings?
Absolutely.
One of the best jig fishermen around, tied
Absolutely.
thousands and thousands of jigs.
Yep.
Frank taught me, and I used this to my advantage at Lake Norman, especially with the spotted bass.
Okay.
Them big spots love a jig. But what he had me do was
Split it.
split it
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like so.
Yeah.
And once you get it right, that leaves that hook much more open on the hook
Exactly.
set.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
Right.
something you might ought to try.
That's a good tip.
If you've got,
Scott, you want to put your laptop down so the audience can see that?
Yeah, because that was a
They
that
couldn't
was
see.
that
Show
was
them how
a good
you're
tip.
splitting that.
well, you
Bobby.
just take your thumb and
Kind of
split-
divide it in
Kind
half
of divide that in half.
and
like
put a little
so.
split in the middle,
And that leaves a much more open.
so it can go. There's a
Plus, it
wide open
gives you-
space for it to go
It
through.
protects your hook more over limbs and stuff also.
Yeah.
It does. And and it's a much better hook set.
Yeah, that's a great
And you can get away with that in lakes where you don't have a lot of underwater growth or
Yeah, sure,
grass. Or,
sure. No, that's a great tip.
Something else I'll do if it's like you're saying, say I'm gonna fish docks on the lake and it's not docks with a lot of brush, you're just basically fishing the shade of the dock. I'll cut the weed guard down to where there ain't hardly a weed guard on it, just enough so if it does hit something, it
Right.
don't hook it.
Absolutely.
So when the fish bites it, he pretty much hooks himself.
Yeah.
If I'm
Another,
catching them swimming it, I'll take a pair of pliers and jerk
Take the whole thing off.
Jerk the weed
I
guard
usually
off.
leave some on there, but
Another-
just in case you go across a rope or something
Yeah.
that don't.
another trick
I
I've
usually just jerk it
done
off.
is cut this weed guard off at this angle, at this angle. And when you do that, you don't have much of the weed guard coming down over the point of the hook.
But you know why, now, that works for you, but you know why I don't do that, like on Louis jigs?
Was that?
I mean, I know a lot of people do that, and this is me, because it gets in my head. The weed, Louis weed guards is about like, this one has been cut. I don't know where I got this jig, but I just dug it
You
out.
probably
of the
got
junk.
it out of my
Well, I
ball.
probably did, but anyway, his come out about this far. I don't like to cut them down that way, because when you do, it makes it stiff.
Yeah.
If it's high like that, when a fish bites it, it gives it flexibility where it'll come down and it'll get the
I
hook
do
in
the
'em.
same
If you cut them,
thing,
if you cut them short,
Yeah.
they get real
they
stiff.
do.
It just gets
Yeah,
in
but-
my head. I don't know. I
So
may be
that-
You
wrong.
gotta take a little bit of it out.
One
man.
thing you can do, one thing you can do is take your finger and just work it. You can work a lot of stiffness out
Yeah.
of that.
I take mine, I don't ever fish it right out of the pack. I take it out, and I love jig fishing. That's all I do.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll take it down, and I'll always push the weed guard down, and I'll sit there and hold it down, because it's always stiff. The epoxy coming out of the head. I'll push it down to that weed guard is right over the top of that hook.
Yeah.
And then I'll start spreading it.
Just like what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just,
But Louis jigs, I usually just fish them right out of the pack. I
Yeah.
guess I'm weird like that.
Louis makes
Well-
one of the very best jigs.
yeah, but
anywhere.
his weed guards aren't near stiff as some jigs either.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
right.
get away
You get
with
one.
this.
You get one with real stiff weed guard.
You can get away with it.
You do
with
have to
Louis
fight.
jigs. You
That's
can get
right.
away with
Well,
it.
you can actually get different
stiffness. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But if you spread it like that, it leaves a lot less tension.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we got some questions.
Okay.
The first one is Mark Silverthorne said, what about the old Rippler jig?
Rippler, I remember those.
Here, if you want to, this is a unique jig, and I didn't talk about it earlier, but this is actually an old Ripper jig, and they have, their rattles were built into the head.
Here, give me that. I'll hold it up to the camera.
They were built into the head, and shake it, Jason, because it's got a different sound too. It's got a totally,
multiple BB.
it's got multiple smaller balls in it, and it's got a different sound. Okay, so
The
yeah,
head is actually painted on this. It's got a chartreuse line.
yeah.
That's a good
So that, I've got a bag full of old Ripper jigs. I used to fish a lot of Ripper jigs back in the day. That's a great jig.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Jason Land said, what's best, weight grass jig, or do you let the bite determine that?
What's best?
Say it again.
The best jig in grass.
What's best weight grass jig, or do you let the bite determine that? I guess he means, what's the best weight,
3/8,
weighted
half
jig
ounce,
to fish
quarter.
in grass?
Personally, I like a 3/8.
I think
like
that's right.
I like a 3/8 in grass, and I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you a secret too. I also like a 3/8 better on riprap. It gets hung a whole lot less.
I think it's the most versatile size.
Yep,
Okay.
it's easy to swim.
You can
It'll
fish
stay in the
both ways.
water column longer. A 3/8, now this is just my opinion, but everybody throws a half ounce. Everybody throws
Exactly.
a 3/8
I'm
in
guilty of that.
in a lot of cases.
We'll catch fish when a half ounce won't,
You
because the
better
fish
be-
don't want that
Exactly.
fall to
Exactly.
be so fast. Yep.
Used to, when Greg and I fished, a lot of times we'd have, several tied on. We'd have a quarter, we'd have a 3/8, we'd have a half. And it's like Jason Land's saying, we'd let the fish tell us. But there's a lot of days that the 3/8 would outfish a half, I promise you.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah,
That's a really
no,
good
it is.
question.
Kate Cranford said, do any of y'all use actual port trailers, or do you just use plastics?
Probably all plastics
All
now.
plastics.
All plastics, and the
even
reason I
get
do
pork?
is because I don't know how to get any
I don't
pork
think you can
trailers.
get pork.
They don't make them anymore.
I don't think Uncle Josh makes them anymore.
We used
Well, you would know
to use
that
them
Bass
at
Pro,
night
do they
a
even
lot.
have any
No.
anymore? They
No.
don't have them, do they?
Not in several years.
The last tournament that I fished, which was a long time ago, I drew Tommy Biffle at Lanier, and he had an old brown piece of pork, and he did real well with it that day.
Somebody told me they drew Roland Martin in the tournament, and he was fishing the jig with the Uncle Josh on there, and he laid it down for a while, and it got kind of stiff. He said he took it off and put it in his mouth and chewed on it a little while, and then put
I've
it back
heard
on the
that.
lure.
I've heard
I'm
that
like,
same
man,
story.
that's hardcore.
hardcore
there.
Well, maybe, hey, he won more tournaments than anybody, right?
That's true. All right, Courtney, what else you got?
Joe Mitchell said that How to Win Tournaments episode was an instant classic. I have a 19-year-old nephew who is an inspiring tournament angler. I shared it with him. Told him if you want any more gas or entry money from Uncle Joe, you have to watch it. Thank you for shortening his learning curve. Blessings for sharing your God-given gift.
Hey, thank you so much.
And tell him there's more of that to come. We're going to do some more things
There's
just like
more of
that.
that coming. Absolutely.
That's been a big
Tell
hit.
him, tell him he needs to watch. I'm gonna try to do one next week on a certain thing about what to carry in your vehicle as far as when you're pulling the trailer and stuff. He needs to watch that if he's gonna be pulling a boat in the future.
Absolutely. And boy, Jason and I experienced it not long ago at
I've
Lake
experienced
Hartwell.
if you pull a trailer, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you know, if he's a 19-year-old kid and he's gonna be pulling a trailer in the future, then he needs to watch it.
Right.
All
That'll
right,
be a break.
all right, what you got, Courtney?
Annette Bowman said that Blake Honeycutt wants to come on one night and his daughter's going to come with.
Oh, he would be.
I'll come get him. When? Hey, it'd be an honor to have Blake Honeycutt
Blake.
on here.
Blake is a true legend.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. He's our hero, Blake.
Well, that's what
is.
we're trying to get legends on here, right?
Well, if we get him, we got the original.
Blake will come.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great guy. I'd love to have him. Thank you, Annette. We'd love to have him. He's got an open invitation.
Jonathan, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Okay.
You said it the other week.
I did.
He said, I love open face reels. I've tried bait casters, and yes, I need practice with them. What do you think about open face reels?
There's two things to think about. Open face reels, there's some baits you have to use open face reel. Light baits, you don't, say like you're fishing a drop shot on 8-pound test, you can't use a bait caster. That's mostly what spinning reels, they're for lighter stuff a lot of times. You get something like a jig and stuff, you need to learn how to use a bait caster, pretty much. Because you can't control your cast with the spinning
That's
reel.
inevitable.
You
You're
need
gonna have
both.
to.
You need to really
That's
need to
right.
learn both.
Everything's
Exactly.
got its place.
But let me say this at the same time.
Yeah.
You can think outside the box. And I don't think we got a friend, Eric Dyer at Hickory. Now he's using open face, and he's not using it on light line. He's thinking outside the box. He's using heavier line on it, and he's very, very successful with it. So,
But he's not using it for fishing heavy jigs.
He's not using it. I don't think.
You can't
fishing
fish
spinner
heavy lures.
baits.
That's the thing, who's the guy? What was the guy's name that just asked that question? I can't remember his name. But anyway, he needs, I guess the thing you
Jonathan.
Okay, Jonathan, what you need to realize is a spinning reel can't hold the heavy line.
That's right.
If you're gonna be fishing jigs around docks, brush, anything like that, rock, which is normally where the fish are gonna be living, you need stiffer line, and you need, a spinning reel's not gonna hold, 12 pounds is probably the max.
That's about the
think
max.
it is. I think it is.
You can't
I
use.
mean, you know-
you can use braid.
That the braided line has changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
You
Well,
got-
yeah,
Yeah.
you can use braid,
Absolutely.
but once again, there's certain.
I always use braid, and then I'll back it with whatever pound, like usually 8 to
Fluoro.
10 pound fluoro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't use it on a bait caster when you're.
No, I never use. No, I've seen people do that, and I just don't. I
I
don't do
can't.
that.
No,
No.
I can't do it. I don't know. I guess it depends on preference. But
The short answer is, if you're a serious angler, you really have no choice, in my opinion, other than to use both.
Right.
You really do need to get, because 10 years ago, I never used a spinning reel. Now it's probably half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on Norman. I mean, Norman's become a spinning reel lake
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
It just works, don't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
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 Used to, all you needed was a jig on Norman,
Yeah.
but it's gotten where sometimes jig ain't all you need on Norman anymore.
The pressure.
Jason Lance said it's very, very, very rare in this day and age you will fish with someone that will or can teach you to fish deep because it's so competitive.
I think that's a good point, and I'd take it even a step further. I think nowadays that fishing is so competitive, I think it's hard for anybody to give away hardly any information if they're a tournament angler, if they think it may come back and bite them, if they think they may lose an edge. I think, and I'll be honest, 2 days ago, before I started that live on how to win bass tournaments, I thought about that. That wasn't a spur of the moment thing.
No.
You know, I
Oh,
talked
no.
about it and thought about it. Do I really want to do it? And what I came up with is, if we're going to take the time and effort to do the podcast needs to be different. And in my opinion, we need to help people. We need to share real information, because there's not a lot of places you can get really good information shared anymore. That's just my opinion.
I mean, a lot of stuff that people put online, they're just trying to sell baits.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
and as far as the deep fishing goes, I mean, I'm not a big deep fisherman, but you know, I've got to where I just fish mostly locally anymore. I go to these, you know, go out of town some, but multi-day tournaments are very hard to win shallow.
Yeah.
That's why Thrift's so good.
Yeah.
He don't even fish shallow hardly anymore. He's hunting for schools of fish that'll hold up for 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Now around here, you're fishing 1-day tournaments. Very seldom you're gonna win deep. You're gonna win shallow all the time.
That's right.
Because you can catch a big bag shallow 1 to 2 days, but
Yeah.
you go past that, you're running out of fish a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Knowing when to do what.
Exactly.
Key.
It's
Key.
all. That's another key decision making. That's
Yeah.
the main. That's 80% of to me
Exactly.
fishing is
It is.
decision
It
making.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
When
talk
to
about
move
that.
where and what.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that
Hey,
later
we're
on
gonna
the.
talk about, we're
on
gonna
the-
go in depth
Yeah.
on that Wednesday,
Oh,
how to
yeah.
practice, what we're looking for. We're gonna give away a lot of good stuff Wednesday. So,
So, yep.
any
Okay.
more questions?
Caleb Props said, are you throwing jigs from the beginning of a tournament to the end or just later in the day?
I mean, lately, I typically start out throwing top water. It seems like you have an opportunity to catch some big fish early on top, and that's typically what I do. And I think, you know, most people know the fish are, you know, a lot of times, depending on the moon phase and some other things, the water level and all this, fish are probably up on the banks feeding at night, and so early, first thing in the morning, that's where they're gonna be. So you could take a jig and you could swim it and probably catch a lot of the same fish that you're catching on top water.
Exactly. Yep.
But I sort of prefer top water bait.
And then I know a lot of people is hardcore jig fishermen, right from the get go, straight to
Absolutely.
the docks fishing the jig. And people say, "Well, the sun ain't up." That's not true.
They're
Because
still around the docks eating bread.
me and Louis Hoyle fished a tournament at Wiley. It's been about 3 years ago. It was in late June, maybe July. It freaking poured rain all day, and I swear that's the best jig day I've ever had at Lake Wiley. We probably caught 40. We won the tournament, but we caught, man, it was so many, and it was pouring rain the whole day.
So that goes against
What you
conventional wisdom.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you never know on that.
No.
So, what else,
Is
Courtney?
that it?
Okay, Brad Caudle said, what would be the downside to using braid for fishing jigs?
What would say it one more time?
The downside
The
of using
downside of
braid.
using braid. for
Well,
jigs.
I'll tell you mine. If I'm fishing and you've seen me do this 1,000 times. If I pull over a brush pile and my jig sticks into that brush, if I've got braid on, I'm not going to be able to pull that line back and pop it free. I do that. How many times do I do that?
Quite a few.
And how many times do I get it free? At least 90% of the time.
I think you're gonna get more. I think you're gonna get more bites.
Well,
with
yeah,
fluorocarbon, too.
you're gonna, yeah. I mean, I don't use anything but fluorocarbon when I'm jig fishing.
That's right, me too.
Because I feel like the fish can't see the line. I prefer it over copolymer. I prefer it over mono, and I know y'all feel the same.
Back in the
way.
old days, all we used was 25-pound mono.
25 big game.
25 big
But
game.
then since the fluorocarbon's so much better because
Fish are
it
so
don't have no
precious.
it don't have no stretch,
Right.
And it's a lot more invisible in the water. Which that most of these lakes around here, the clearness of the water, I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna matter really.
I don't like, I will not throw a jig. Have you ever seen me throw a jig on braid one time?
Have you ever seen
I
me?
never do it. I never do it. And the
The only
reason,
thing I use braid on is top water.
and the reason I do it is recoil, basically
Exactly.
recoil.
That's
The
same reason
there is
for that.
absolutely zero stretch in that line, and when you get a bite, and it's a quick bite, or you're swimming a jig and he loads up on it, between the braided line and your rod, it's gonna recoil. I mean, it's gonna snap, it's gonna recoil, there's no stretch, and you're gonna lose a lot of those fish.
And the castability too. You're not
That's
gonna
right.
flip
You can't
boat docks
skip-
with
and you can't
with
skip,
braid that
You
good.
can't skip a braid.
I don't like he was
I mean,
talking about.
you
You
can,
talking about the recoil?
Yeah.
I had it. I was throwing. It must have been a spook or something. I can't remember. I was throwing braid. I was at a lake somewhere. It wasn't around here. And I went and make a long cast, and that thing caught, jerked a rod clean out to the lake. I mean, they'll jerk it out of your hand.
Yeah.
Do it with an umbrella rig and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a jig, a bladed jig, a spinner bait, those baits, you need to let that fish eat it.
That's
Exactly.
right.
And
That's
you don't have
right.
no give in it.
Exactly.
And there is no give in none of that.
If I'm not in Florida or throwing a spook, I'm not throwing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fluorocarbon's got
Exactly.
just enough.
Or
Yeah,
a spinning
exactly,
reel. I throw it on the spinning reel. I always throw it on the spinning reel,
Yeah.
but you're gonna
Yeah,
have
I do
a
too.
fluorocarbon leader, and that way, you don't have to keep spooling the line up on your reels. The main
And like
reason
you said, a
use it.
spook, so you don't work you to death.
And there's
Yeah.
one exception. There is one exception. If you're somewhere like in Florida, something like that, and you're pitching a 1 ounce or an ounce and a half jig into mats, if you're punching mats,
Yeah, you
That's
have
a
to.
little-
you have
braid.
to have braids
Oh, yeah,
because
that's
you have no choice but to hit that fish and come with
And
him right.
get him
in.
out of there.
Exactly.
But so there is an exception.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
Or you fishing around that heavy grass in Florida, you gotta use, most of the time, gotta use
Yeah,
braid, most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this question is just for Hamrick. Jason Land said, "Who is the best jig fisherman you have ever fished with?"
Well, I taught this one guy and he fished with me, so he's probably the best that I've been in the boat with, probably Andy Montgomery.
Hey, you taught Andy?
I taught him everything he knows.
Okay.
Well, Andy, roll casting, he's the best I've seen.
Okay.
I fish it like this. We're different. I can outcast him doing this. He's roll casting. He's got me.
Yeah, but the question was, who's the best?
I think he's the best. He's definitely.
I thought he was gonna say him.
Well,
Mike?
he's not gonna give me no credit for it.
If Mike can't throw it out there and just drag it on the bottom, he ain't gonna. That's his casting.
Really?
Mike does good. I'm just kidding. Mike's a very good jig fisherman. I
We
don't
have
know.
a lot of good jig fish.
Man, around here,
Yeah,
good gosh,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, saying one, I don't know how you do it. I don't.
Yeah, it's nasty around
Hank
there.
Cherry's awesome with it. with
Yeah,
a jig. It's just,
absolutely.
you
He's
know,
awesome with a lot of things.
Like I say, a lot of people roll cast it. But when you roll cast it, you're back from the dock. I like to fish. We fish tighter to the dock. People think, "Oh, you're gonna spook." No, you're not gonna spook the fish.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get on the dock, but like from, say this, maybe you're 15 foot away from the dock and you're skipping up on the dock. You're not gonna spook the fish. I think when you roll casting, a lot of times, if you miss, like if you don't know pond and you miss, you're gonna make one heck of a mess.
Clang! Yeah, you can make somebody mad.
So it's just what you know. It's
It's
what's
a
your
little
heart.
harder to hit.
And it's hard to get the hook in the fish if you're 20 yards away with your jig. I mean, that's just how we do. I mean, I ain't saying it's right, but that's what we do. You've been with me, you know how I fish.
No, I know, and you have to do what's effective for
Exactly.
yourself. You have to do what you're comfortable with. That's the
Right.
bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg Cochran said, "What's your opinion on shaky head fishing?"
Well, I'm basically a power fisherman. It's no secret.
Me and Mike don't fish.
I'll tell you the key thing though, shaky head. If you're a co-angler, that's what you better be doing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
better get him right.
Because you're gonna catch fish
What's the guy,
that the
George?
guy in the front's not gonna catch.
George, what's his name?
I call him
Shaky-
shaky, shaky head
Irritation.
George.
I drew him at Wiley
Yeah.
in the BFL about 5 years ago, and that son of a gun caught so many fish behind me. I mean, he can flat out catch him on the
You know, he led the Bassmaster Open at Norman the first day. It's been a few years ago.
And a super nice guy.
And you know what he does? He walks. See, he had fished the BFL with me the year before.
Yeah.
He walks up to me. He says, "Scott," you know, he's got that
Yeah,
accent.
yeah.
He says, "Scott, they were all over your stuff today." He's like, "I fished all your stuff." I'm like, really? That's nice.
Yeah. Shaky heads will catch them. It's a finesse bait.
It really is.
If fishing's tough, I don't think you can beat it.
No.
We don't do it enough. I'll say
Well, you're
that.
fishing
Y'all
the
speak for
wind.
yourselves.
Big fish.
We're-
You know, I know you're a shaky head, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, Christy Akers said somebody's gonna be 47 tomorrow.
I thought you was gonna be 57. It's not 57. It's 47.
Yeah, 47.
Look at all that gray.
Birthday, Jason.
Jason.
Not yet, not yet. Tomorrow.
Happy
We don't-
birthday,
we don't
Jason.
ru- we don't rush those.
Okay.
Where's the cake? Okay.
I didn't know.
Did y'all bring us a cake? You didn't bring us a cake? Yeah. I knew it because I seen it on Facebook this morning.
Oh.
Said Damar. That's what it
Okay,
said.
I didn't see it.
It said he's gonna be 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Thank
thinking
you,
about.
honey. I love you.
Yeah. Good job, Jason.
Okay, Jason Lynn said, when are we drawing lakes? Boys looking forward to it.
That's the challenge. He's one of the groups that
Oh.
the challenge.
Who
for the
is?
yak-
Jason?
Jason Land. Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of comments, Courtney. Let's, what,
There he
is there any questions like that we need to answer? Cause we're getting,
Yeah. How long we been on? We probably need.
wow.
Okay.
yeah, we've been on an hour
All right.
and 16 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move along if we can.
Yeah, if you got any, important questions, I mean, you see anything real?
Yeah. That sounds good.
This Jonathan guy said, I fish Lake Wichita,
Yeah.
and the north side of the lake has gotten taken over with weeds almost to the top of the water. It grows 20 feet tall or more. I've caught big bass there in the shallow and buckbrush, but when they move in deeper
Wichita.
water, do you
It's Arkansas.
think they're in the tall weeds in that area? I asked because it gets so thick.
It's grass he's talking about. It's grown up. It must be grass.
It must
Yeah.
be grass, yeah.
Well, let me tell you about this. I fish a lot of lakes. If a lake's got grass, that's pretty much where the fish are going to be. They're going to be
You
in the
better
grass
be fishing
somewhere.
it.
You better be fishing.
If you're a
If
dock,
you're not-
if
if
you're a
you're
dock
not-
fisherman and you go to a grass lake,
You better switch
better
up.
very seldom you're going to catch them on docks. They're gonna be
Somebody's
in the
catching
grass.
them, man, trust
Yeah.
me.
Brain
Yeah.
to be that.
Exactly.
That's right. All right. Let's.
One
So-
more, and this is about jigs.
Okay.
Okay.
What is best rod to skip jigs with, best action to skip with, and what is the overall best jig rod?
All right, you tell, what rod do you like if you're jig fishing? What's your go-to rod?
I use,
Bobby?
right now I use a 7-foot medium heavy.
Okay. A lot of people like medium heavy.
Yep. There are a lot of difference in rods. Some of the
Exactly.
heavies are way too heavy.
Exactly.
Some of the medium heavies are way too light.
Yeah.
Right.
So it all
Exactly.
depends on
You're exactly right.
the particular brand of rod that you have your loyalty with,
Yep.
and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Also, the length
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mike and I are kind of short.
Yeah.
We can probably get away with shorter rods
shorter
Yeah.
rod.
and get a lot
Exactly.
more effective cast.
Exactly.
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 That's a good
Scott's
point. That's a
fourth-
great
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It
Scott can
depends.
use a little longer rod,
Yeah.
so
All right.
that's my.
I use a 7-1 G Loomis,
Okay.
medium heavy.
And I can't use a 7-1. I just can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're roll casting though. If I'm like I said, if I'm roll casting, I'm using a 6.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set right now 7-foot Dobbins, medium heavy.
Okay. And I use, like I said earlier, a 610 Falcon Cara. I use that for pitching or side arming, like you said.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
And everybody's using medium heavy.
Yeah, I use a heavy.
You use a heavy,
But now the Falcon.
but it's got probably fast tip.
Falcon,
so that makes it a medium
that
heavy.
Falcon
basically.
610 Cara it's got a little bit enough tip to it to where the jig will load up and let me get it where I
I mean, I've had guys tell me, "Why you use that buggy whip?"
yeah.
I'm like, "Well, this buggy whip takes your money a lot of
That's
times
right.
because I don't have no problem getting no
right.
fish on it."
That's right. Okay. Okay. Let's move along.
Yep.
Uh,
Any other questions we can respond to?
yeah, we'll respond to afterwards. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
no problem. We always do that. That's no problem at all. I want to give a shout out to Chris, and I hope I get his name right. Corrier. There's an organization, it's the Western North Carolina High School and Junior Series, and that's a group of young fishermen, I'm assuming, in high school and maybe middle school, I'm not sure about that, but they are affiliated with Bass. You may know of them, Bobby, I don't know. But they're starting their tournaments because of COVID. They had to push their schedule back, and I think they're starting in November, I think is what Chris had said. But I think it's so neat that this guy is devoting his time and he's putting his time and his energy into this, and it's a great program. The future of this sport resides with, high school kids, college kids, and so I just want to give a shout out to Chris. And we had talked earlier, if Chris is agreeable and would want to bring some of the high school kids and fish with us, we would be open to do that. And we'll have to figure out how to do that.
Like have 4 of us and then 4 of them, and he can pick however he's going to pick his guys. I don't know, Bob, maybe them doing like a maybe whatever. I don't know how he's going to pick them.
Yeah, but we would be glad to split up, take one each. And
we could have it on. We could do it on live, like we do.
Absolutely.
The challenges,
Yeah,
and we could listen and kind of guide them around and let them catch the fish.
Absolutely.
Guys, these kids are thirsty to learn.
Absolutely.
They're getting into this, I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
And the more that you pass along,
the better. That's right.
And it's a shame if we don't do that.
And some of these kids are good.
A lot of them are
really good.
Especially with electronics. With all this games and stuff they play.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how if they had this stuff when we were in high school?
Oh my God.
Fishing teams, and college scholarships.
You might have graduated.
I may have graduated.
All right, so Chris, get in touch with us, please, and we'll talk about this more, but we're certainly open to doing that, and thank you again for your time and effort and what you're doing. I admire you for that. Okay, let's thank our sponsors real quick, I guess, and then we'll do the giveaway last. Is that good?
That sounds good.
Okay. Waterwood crankbaits. I think everybody knows what I think about Waterwood right now. We've got a lot of.
We all think about Waterwood.
Yeah,
Look at this new prototype we're giving away tonight. Nobody has this.
Nobody.
This is brand
This
new.
is not in stores.
This thing is, look, it's short. Jason, go up there and
Yeah,
show them
take
that
it up
thing.
there.
That thing right there is going to catch them. I can already tell you.
Yep. It's a BDS1. And
That's a bad dude right
It's a
there.
bad dude. It's not in stores. It's
Whoever wins this is going to be the only person going to have
Yeah.
this
We've
bait.
got about 3 minutes left to subscribe and comment before
Yeah.
I don't have one of them. Mike don't have one of them.
well, I had one. Marcus made me give it away.
Beautiful bait.
Hey, can you disqualify me and I can take it?
So that's a well-made product.
No, it's a great bait. So Waterwood, we thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Azteca, go to Azteca's, our favorite Mexican place. K9 Fishing Line, we're all using K9. They're sending us line, and we appreciate it so much. I love their 20-pound test.
It's awesome. Oh, yeah.
It's just really, really neat. It's good stuff. You can rely on it. Very reliable. Shane's Baits, he's coming on, right?
Well, yeah, down the road we're gonna get him and Troy and Shane Lehew to come on together, hopefully,
Okay.
and they can talk about their baits and
Okay. Bass of the South.
Bass of the South. You know, he works down at Troy's, so he makes the little
Okay.
Ned rigs.
Okay. Alcom, I've been having trouble with the internet. It just wasn't the right speed, wasn't strong enough, and we completely redid everything, and Alcom was heavily involved in that. Gage came over, their tech, and got us going, and I appreciate all his efforts.
Now we got the best internet in the neighborhood.
It ought to be the best in the world. I'm just saying, it should. I've put a lot of effort and time into this, and but Alcom's been instrumental. So thank you, Alan, and thank you, Gage.
And Courtney's Creations. Don't forget,
No,
show your shirt there.
no,
Courtney's been
no.
making.
Hold some of these up. This is what's this material? This
The UPF material.
UPF material.
Yeah, this is a fishing shirt, guys. One of the, you wear in the summertime, like your Huck style shirts.
And you made this for
Alan McKinney.
Al McKinney. That's actually
Nice.
his shirt. She just made that.
She's got Waterwood down the sleeve,
Good looking shirt. It's a great
it's a
looking
nice shirt.
It's
You might have to make him another one.
Whose is this?
I might take that one.
Alan McKinney.
I can't take it.
Alan, you might just lost his shirt.
Come on now, we might fight over that shirt.
So these shirts are like $60 or so that's made out of this material. If you buy them in the stores and you're selling them for,
I'm selling ours for 30 if you're local, 35 if you need it shipped out.
there you go. I think that's a great price.
And
for
your
it.
shirts are gonna be Denver Tackle.
The t-shirts are at Denver Tackle right
Yep,
now.
the t-shirts.
I have not made no UPS.
But if they ask for them, you can get them though.
Yep.
I can get
Yep.
them. You'll
Okay.
have to ask for them.
He's getting ready to have he's getting ready to put shirts out. He hadn't got them out because he's doing some work in there, but other than that, he's
Okay.
gonna have them on the floor there, so.
This is the t-shirt.
Yep, yep. And Courtney can do basically anything. I mean, she can make any kind of shirts, decals, banners, cups, keychains.
These Fishing Legends Live UPS shirts and t-shirts, that was just colors that I had. I can make them any color,
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate all you do, Courtney.
We got all our sponsors, I think.
Did I forget anybody?
All right, well, let's see who wins
All
some
right, what are we
prizes
gonna
there.
give away
Spin the
first?
wheel, spin the wheel.
What are we gonna give away first?
All right, I'm doing this giveaway a little differently since we had so many people and it's two separate giveaways.
Okay.
In the subscribing giveaway, the one where it's 3 different ones,
Yep,
we had 31 people, so I'm gonna do a random number generator on Google
Okay.
from 1 to 31, and whatever number pops up, that's who wins it. I've got the numbers listed out here on my paper.
okay, so what are we giving away first?
Whatever you want is your decision.
Let's go to the crankbait first.
Oh.
Crankbait?
Do the crankbait.
The
Okay.
Waterwood Special Edition. Okay, can I enter? Ho, get my name on there.
Wait, I gotta get Chris Corey.
You want
Hey,
the name on there, Bob?
while you're doing that, Courtney, this bait, is primarily, it's coming out, it'll be in the store soon, and it's primarily a fall bait. Marcos, I know he gave, Todd Alton a couple of these baits, and I think Todd went, to High Rock with Marcos, but I saw a picture of a huge fish that came on this bait. So this bait is like the rest of his baits. It works really good, but this is made to be a fall bait because of the size and how deep it runs. So
Biting little shad about that.
absolutely, absolutely, and it'll vibrate the rod out of your hand. We showed that.
K9 Line, Stacy Richards, in-house, Great Outdoors has it. Who else carries it? Just Denver-
Rusty Hooks
Rusty Hooks has it.
Troy's got it coming.
Troy's
He
will
hasn't got
have
it
it.
yet, but he's
Okay.
got
Yeah.
it coming.
Yeah.
Around here, that's.
Great Outdoors has got it.
Yeah, they got it. All right, you ready?
I'm looking for the last one.
Okay.
Alright. Brad Cottle will be the last one that's entered into the giveaway.
Okay.
So we have 34.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to order the t-shirts, then just message me after the podcast, or if you comment, I'll talk to you after the podcast
Okay.
is over with.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got everybody's name listed
Okay.
here.
All right.
And let me change that to 34. And the number is 5. So the first one will be Stacy Richards.
Okay.
What is that, the Waterwood?
Waterwood.
Okay.
Stacy Richards.
Yep.
That's who I just,
That's
who
who
just
just
asked.
asked.
Okay. Wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Stacy.
Does
You
he
got a
know-
Waterwood to throw in your K9.
If he wants to, I can take it to Denver Tackle if he needs me to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let us know about
Another
that.
one, 22, which is Jonathan Carter.
All right, we're gonna give Jonathan these 2 jigs. They've
And
never
he
been.
lives at Hartwell, so that's a good Hartwell.
One, okay,
That's a
okay.
good thing
Okay.
for Hartwell
All
right there.
We're gonna give him, Jonathan, the put tequila.
Tequila.
Yep,
That's won a lot of money at Hartwell, hasn't it?
that's one, a boat, and it's one, I don't know how many tournaments at Lake Hartwell, yes. All right, now the brown one.
Terry Herman.
Terry Herman, are you sure?
Yep.
Is that right?
Number 3.
Congratulations, Terry. Terry's my buddy, my Lake Hickory buddy.
So you can get that to him.
Yeah, I'll
Good.
get that to you. That's not a problem.
All right, and then
Okay, the
the
20
Azteca gift
Azteca.
card, we've got 23
Okay,
with all of the names listed.
okay, good job, Courtney. See, she had a plan, didn't she?
Yes, she did. I told you, leave it to her.
Okay. Boy, if
Okay,
me and you
so
done it,
I've
it'd
We'd have been a mess.
I
I've
don't know.
got the Google generated 1 to 23. And the winner is 20. That is Jonathan Carter.
God, Johnson's raking up tonight.
What, he won
Now he
2,000?
lives around Hartwell, so that's a long way to come for the
what?
the Azteca.
Well, he won.
Yeah.
He won though.
Oh, I know
What you
that.
want to do, take it away from him?
No, I'm
If
just.
he wants to trade it out for a Fishing Legends Live t-shirt, he can do that.
Message us.
If he wants the gift card, if he wants to come up here to eat, that's fine. If he would rather have a t-shirt.
Aztecas in Gastonia, North Carolina, Jonathan.
Yeah, and
Hey,
you may and you may not get shot. Yeah.
Hey, if he would rather have us send him a tackle, a rig, a spinnerbait or something, we'll be glad to do
Or
that.
a shirt, whatever he
A
wants.
shirt, let us know.
Just let us know.
Let us know. Are you making them shirts?
I'm selling.
She's gonna hit you with a bottle of water. That's what she's.
That's what she
Go
said.
I'll
there.
have him waiting them. That's fine.
Courtney's
She'll have me
wanting
wading
Azteca.
them.
I know what Courtney's
Yeah,
wanting.
yeah. Well, I know
She's
why
wanting
too.
Azteca. She's like, I'll trade him a shirt for
Yeah,
Azteca.
yeah.
She's wanting to eat up there. That's
Oh,
what it
she's
is.
wanting a lemonade.
That's
who wouldn't want
see
it?
right lemonade. That's
Yeah.
what she wants.
Up there.
Yeah. All right. Is
Great
that
place.
it?
That place is good.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Bobby. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I really
Appreciate you,
appreciate
Bobby.
you coming.
Thanks for having.
I
pleasure.
appreciate you coming,
Thanks for
brother.
coming.
You're always welcome.
And y'all look for next Wednesday. We're gonna give up winning tournament tips next Wednesday,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to continue this conversation, and most likely it will transition into practicing, how we practice,
Yep.
how we find fish.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.